So we're going to start modeling the staircase. I have traced this, so the first thing you have to do is to measure the distance between structural elements. So here we have a column, here we have another column, there's another column here, another one there, and then we have to work with this axis or these grid lines that are connecting those structural columns. And then if you look at this, you see that we have like a concrete platform. We go upstairs like 1, 2 steps, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we are in this area, and somewhere here, the staircase, the steel staircase will start. So this is something solid made of concrete, and then here, something made of steel starts. We look at some pictures. You can see that we have 2 solid steps, then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 solid steps. We get to this landing, and then when we have this structural concrete column, the steel staircase goes up. So and here we have a bench. Okay, so making the most of this concrete element, we have a nice bench here. And okay, so let's analyze this first, and let's start modeling. But first, you see that we have a couple of steps here. So the first thing, we need to understand how many steps we have. And first, we have to understand the levels. Okay, so this is a section of the building, and here we have level 1. This is the first floor, level 2. So the staircase goes from level 1 to level 2. So what's the level difference? Let's memorize these 2 numbers. It's 475 feet, 2.5 inches, and this is 489, 2.5. So the difference between 489 minus 475, it's 14 feet. Okay, so from level 1 to level 2, from the first floor to the second floor, we have 14 feet. Then in Revit, if level 1 is 0, the second level should be 14. So that's the height that we have to go up. And now we need to understand, we need to see the number of steps that we have here, the concrete steps and then the steel steps. How many steps? The concrete ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If we look at the drawing, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we have the landing. Now we have to count the other ones. Okay, so for this first part of the staircase, the one that it's made of concrete, we're going to use the rule of 7 by 11. Okay, so the steps will have 7, the rise would be 7 inches, the run would be 11. So let's do it. And well, you see that we have a platform here where the bench is, and the height of the bench is 2 steps. So I'm going to use the same architecture component model in place. I'm going to select stairs. And now I'm going to select extrusion. And I'm going to trace this element here. And now I'm going to copy this one because I want this line to be parallel. So if I copy it here and trim. Okay. And on the west elevation, I have this element. And what's the height of that west elevation? Well, I want this to be 7 feet. So if I select annotate aligned, 7 feet, 7 inches, sorry. So now I want this to be, the best thing would be to create a level at 7 inches and then adjust it. Okay, so now the first step, it's a 7-inch step, and it is here. Then we have the second one. Okay, so we have this, and now this has to be 7 inches up, and the distance, this offset, is 11 inches. So let's do it. And now on level, I have created this level. I'm going to name it 7 inches. Okay, so I'm going to view, plan view, floor plan, this level 7 inches. And I want not on this level, but I want to see the, okay, so once we have this, I'll trace it. Now I'm going to work with level 1. I'm going to use model line. So this is perpendicular. You see that by default we have this perpendicular, and we want to go 11 inches. 11 inches. So 11 inch. There you go. So this is 11 inches, and the same thing here. Perpendicular, 11 inch. And now we have a reference line, and I can go to component, model in place. We continue with the stairs. Okay. We can set the work plane at level 7 inches. And now I can keep tracing, please, with the extrusion. Perpendicular, perpendicular, trim, and make sure that we have this perpendicular line here. And we can keep going, just tracing the first shape that we have created. And now trim. Okay, here we go. And now what's the height? It has to be 7 inches too. So I'm going to finish model, and I'm going to copy this new level 7 inches up, and now I'll adjust this to this new level. Okay, so in the 3D view, we have these two volumes. Okay. Now what's next? We have this bench. So this is something that you have to measure this distance. Let's say it can be, if this is 11 inches, this is more than a foot and 2 inches, let's say 14 inches. And now we have, but now I'm going to apply something different. Okay, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps here. So I can keep doing this. I can keep creating platforms. Each platform is 7 feet up, but I think I'm going to do something different here. I'm going to create a solid block, and then I will subtract this with a void. There are different ways to do this, but just to explore or to remember the void thing, I will going to do that. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 times 7, it's 35 inches. Okay, so on the west elevation, the next level is going to be 35 inches up. Okay, that's level. So now I can trace this. I want this line to be parallel, so I can go to model line, make sure that it's perpendicular. So this is 1 foot 6 inches, okay, kind of. And now I can go with the model in place, stairs. And I'm going to try to trace this block distribution. So I'm going to go to this particular. And now I'll keep tracing this. Okay, but now I don't have to go to this place because this is the bench. And now trim. Okay, click finish. Let's see on the west elevation where we are. The top part should be this, and the lower part should be this. Finish 3D view. Okay, so there is a solid block here. And now on this solid block, we have to carve the steps. Okay, let's do it. Now it's important that we select a view that is parallel or perpendicular to this line. When we are working with lines parallel to the spring, everything's easy, but here we have this angle, and I want to view this, and then I can take the right measurements here. Well, if we want to do that, I can go to view and section. Okay, so I can select the section view, and I want to, yes, so if Revit detects that there is an angle there, so we can have the same angle, and then we will have this section view looking parallel to this. When we create a section, we have a section 1, and here we have this element. Okay. So on that element, if I'm looking at this direction, so this vertical line is the line in which I will have the first rise. So go to, okay, so the first rise will be here. But I have to trace the steps and then subtract. Okay, so if I go to architecture and draw a model line, I have to pick a plane. So I'm going to pick this plane here. Okay, and on this plane, I know that this distance will be 7 inches up, and that will be 11 inches horizontally. Okay, so that is the profile of my void. So now I have to select this and edit in place. So if we select edit in place, then I can create a void form by extrusion. I will select the same plane. Okay, so you have to highlight this plane. And now we can trace that shape that we have created here. So, well, I can measure it again, but if I do this and I measure again 7 inches, then I can keep copying. Copy. And copy. And now I have to make sure that I create a void that it's bigger than this so that I can subtract it. So I'm going to this and I've done something wrong here. Okay. I can finish, and on the 3D view, I have to make sure that the void is bigger than the block, and now I have the steps.